Hey, we're back with up two on this Revell 1/4000 scale build and play Star Destroyer conversion. Well, I wanted to go over a few more things since I posted the last video. And for first off, I did finish up the shuttle bay or landing bay. Those areas that I had left without light blocking that were lit up yesterday, I decided to drill out all the openings, and I put a piece of in each one I put a piece of 10 thousandths white styrene to cover the holes up, and then I went over them with the Model Master clear blue real light coat to have it match the rest of the lighting in there, so it doesn't look like there's different light bulbs in there and stuff. So that's all finished up. It's all sealed up and ready to go. So that's done now. The next part I wanted to go over is the bridge with the fiber optics. There's a lot of close quarters in there. You got to do some cutting away of some areas. But if you notice, the fibers, they do run close to the top edge and the bottom edge. The bottom edge isn't that bad, but the top edge, they're pretty close. And this radar piece here, it's got a lot of tabs along the front, and they'll interfere quite a bit. So what I did, I left the center one because there's no fibers in that area. So that one's going to kind of position it and all that. And then the rest, all the tabs, I cut as much clearance out of it as I could so none of the fibers get crimped and crushed, and then they won't work because they once you bend them, they don't pass the light all the way to the tip. So I cut out as much plastic as I could. Another point I wanted to make is when you need room to pass the fibers through, and if you leave the mounting pin in there, and you can't get a big enough area to pass all the fibers through. So being at the bridge, the neck part, we'll get to that. There's this little slot thing where it fits in, and then the walls, the bridge part will fit right up in there, and you'll have plenty of an area for sturdiness. It's not going to fall off or nothing. But you need to get rid of that big mounting pin in there, and you need to get rid of the mounting pin on that part in there and stuff. So as you can see, the mold here, it's just a plain plastic. It doesn't have all the greebies and lines engraved in it, and that's a good joint there for your glue joint. And then it's got this little, I call it a tray, where the front part slides on there to locate it. That's going to make it solid enough. So I removed that pin also, and then it'll pass right down through and everything. And this piece is attached, like I said, I used that Plastic glue, and on the inside I put a couple pieces of styrene sheet for extra sturdiness on that joint, so it'll never come loose in that. So that's a pretty solid one-piece deal right there. It ain't gonna go nowhere. So I wanted to go over those few things with you, and all that. So now once you get to working on the main structure, the upper structure, you're going to have to do a lot of clearing out of plastic. First up, on this front piece that goes up in here, what I did, I drilled all my holes, and then to give clearance for all the fibers to pass through, I removed a big chunk of that plastic in front, but I don't go far enough up where you're going to have a seam that's going to show, even though there's not going to be any lights in here that you need to worry about light leaks. I still leave a little bit of an edge there so that everything kind of fits together real nice. So I just cleared out a lot of that plastic off of there, and that way all my fibers run through. They can go through there into the next section and through the middle of the opening that's cast in the top of the model. And this top section of the main structure, I already got those glued together, and I did the same thing. I cut openings on both sides so I can pass my fibers through. I had to cut away the corners quite a bit because there's going to be some fibers real close to that edge, and I didn't want them to have to go in and bend, so I cut it so they'll have a nice transition where they won't get crimped or bent or anything, and it'll work fine once you get ready to light it all up and everything. You won't have no problems with fibers that got bent and aren't working no more, because it's once you get it done, you don't want to have to redo things too much. But that's what I did with that section. You know, I got all the holes drilled. I'll be starting to work on painting it later today. And in the bottom, you got a lot of issues with it, whether you're going to use fiber optics or regular lights. You got a lot of issues with stuff that you can't get light into unless you take out some plastic. So what I did on this top, the main part, and these two parts are attached. But what I did on the main top part, as you can see, I drilled a bunch of holes, and I just took my X-Acto and cut along there. So my fibers go through the windows along this top edge here. They'll pass right through that slot. And you know, the model's still pretty strong. Everything still snaps together real good. And I did the same thing along the front on that edge. So all the fibers that are going to be in that front of this, they'll be able to pass right through this opening, down back to there, and through to the inside of the ship. As far as these end pieces on the bottom, there's plenty of room for the fibers to come through. And this doesn't sit flush with the part that it mounts to, so all your fibers can run in between there without any issues of getting crimped or anything like that. So I just wanted to give you a little update of where I'm removing plastic from and all that. And you know, there's a little tricky. Even if you're just going to light it with regular LEDs and not do fiber optics, you're still going to have to clear out those areas to try to get light through to all the holes that you drill. So I thought that this would just be a helpful video so you guys can kind of see. I mean, other guys do it their way, but all in all, it's pretty much basically the same. You got to get light to areas that are blocked out by plastic, and a lot of this is real heavy plastic, so it's not that easy to have light passing through there and all that. So I wanted to show you those couple little tricks. And then I forgot to mention one thing yesterday about this Plastruct, the plastic weld. This works off a capillary action. So you hold your parts together, and then you apply it to the joint, and it runs along the joint, and it pretty much welds the plastic together. You'll crack the plastic away from the joint before you'll crack the joint. This stuff is super. It doesn't like to be put on a part. As soon as you put it on a part, it air dries so quick you can't even put another part, you know, attach another part to it. You got to do it. Let the capillary action take its way. If you do get it to where you get a big glob of it on the plastic and you stick another part to it, it will hold, but it won't have a strong a bond as if you did it with letting it work its way, joint on its own. That's what this is made for. That's the way it's made to work. It's not made like regular plastic cement where you put a little drop on there, connect the parts, and boom, done. This is better, but it is strong, and like I said, I experiment with the 4 different types of liquids, and this is the only one that really works and holds this type of plastic. This plastic is like an ABS. I don't know if you guys remember, but back when they did the first Clear Enterprise D, you couldn't use regular model cement, plastic cement, because it was an ABS plastic. You had to do it with super glue. The only trouble with super glue, after a few years, it dries out, gets brittle, and it'll start coming apart at the seams. If you twist something, it'll snap. So, but that was the deal with that kit. It was made of a different type of plastic, similar to what this is, and that's the reason you had to use the CA glue rather than regular plastic cement and everything. I know the new one now is made out of regular clear styrene, so you can use regular plastic cement, liquid, the tube, anything you want. So that's one improvement that they made. And other than that, that's all I wanted to show you guys for this video. Pretty much last night I mentioned a couple other channels. Gentlemen, if you do want to see more builds of this, there's 2 other gentlemen. One of them goes by Eagle Sci-Fi Modeler, and the other gentleman goes by Space Dock Modeling. They each built versions of the ship, and they, you know, with their own techniques and everything, but they turned out pretty much the same, all lit up and everything. Both gentlemen are really great modelers, and if you go over their channels and check out their builds, you might pick up some other ideas from them. And I just pretty much hop around YouTube and I pull up all kind of reference pictures. That's where I get my little ideas for the different detailing with that with the little tubing and stuff that I showed last night on the last video. and all that. But yeah, give them two guys a check out and on their channels and stuff, and subscribe to them if you want. They do great work, and they got a lot of other builds posted on their channels too. So that's all for today. I just want to make a quick short video on progress. Oh, one other thing before we go. There's some other plastic. If you do the lighting on the Shuttlebay, and you're going to build a little box around it to conceal everything and all that, and there's some pins up in this area. There's 4 pins, and what happens when you assemble the 2 halves, they press down on the Shuttlebay to hold it in place from popping out if you push on it, being it's a snap kit. You do have to remove those, otherwise you won't be able to close your 2 hull halves together. So I forgot about that. I did have to do some black painting because I am using a couple of LEDs in there for the different situations I talked about on the last video. So I did just some black along the edges, and I had to do a couple spots on the top and bottom halves and stuff to keep the light from leaking through the top. But it's pretty much ready to go with my ready to go with the paint. I'm going to do the side trenches first because it's hard to get in there, and it's being that they're so narrow. And then I'll do those side trenches, and then I'll snap the 2 halves together, put the superstructure on, and shoot that all at once and everything, so everything comes out pretty much uniform and nothing comes out like a mismatch, and it looks like it was painted different times in different shades and colors and all that. So that's all for today. See you guys in a few days, probably with the next video update, and hope you guys give this model a shot. I think it's pretty much worth it. I probably could have got it cheaper. I got it at Hobby Lobby with the 40% off this coupon, and I think it came out to like 26 bucks or something like that. So it wasn't a too bad deal. Hobby Lobby does have it marked up. I think their regular selling price is like $44.95 or something, which is like $15 higher than most other places sell it for. But it's still, all in all, it's cheap, it's fun, it's fun to upgrade it and turn it into something other than a toy. So hope you guys are you know, that were questioning this, whether it was worth it or not. It's definitely worth it. It could become quite a nice model to display and be proud of and stuff if you do it up. And you know, you can do it any way you want. It doesn't have to be the way we all do it. So, but I'm just trying to give you guys some helpful hints and ideas, and maybe it'll help you get started, and then you can take it in your own direction or follow along on my things. Like I said, this isn't a show and build where I'm building on my video. I'm just doing updates as far as what work I've got done and little things that I might come across along the way that you need to do to make room for everything and cut away plastic, and you know, it's still going to be pretty solid model. So you guys take care, happy modeling, and we'll see you on the next video. Bye.